So there's a reason people feel stuck in narcissistically abusive relationships. And when that narcissist, when they love bomb you, they're giving you that attention and affection. And they're pretending to be somebody they're not. They're mirroring you. They're not just deceiving your perception, what you can see, what you can hear. They're deceiving you on a subconscious level. They're hijacking your nervous system to get you hooked into a relationship with them. And to understand that, you want to understand just a little bit of how the nervous system works in the context of trauma. So when you're dealing with trauma, you have three primary states of the nervous system. You have the ventral vagal state, which is where you feel safety, security. You want to talk to people, you want to socialize. Then you have the sympathetic state, which is fight or flight, where you just want to run. You want to, be physically engaged in getting away from the danger or harm. And then there's the dorsal vagal state, which is where your body shuts down. You want to isolate. You go into freeze, fawn. And those are the three states that you're basically dealing with in your nervous system, and how, in the context of how it pertains to trauma. Now, in polyvagal theory, and stay with me on this because this is really important in terms of being able to recover from trauma and understanding why you feel stuck in that relationship and the reason for the shame that so many people in these relationships feel. Because you understand who this person is on an intellectual level, but there are things happening on a physiological level that you can't control and that are subconscious. But there are things that you can do to heal that and to repair the damage that the narcissist does as a result of being in that relationship and being in that trauma bond. So in polyvagal theory, there's this concept called neuroception. So neuroception is like an alarm, and that alarm, it scans for threats in the environment. It scans for danger. And it does this on a subconscious level. So when you're interacting with another human being, then you're picking up certain things about them on a subconscious level to determine whether or not this is a safe person. And neuroception communicates to you and influences the state that you go into, whether you're going into a safe state, fight or flight state, or shutdown state where you freeze or fawn. But with a narcissist, what they do is they deceive that subconscious, what's happening on a subconscious level. They hijack that neuroception, that alarm that you have, and they use it to communicate to your nervous system that they're safe, that they're okay. And so when that happens, you feel like this is someone you can trust, you feel safety, you go into that ventral vagal state, you feel like this is somebody who you want to form a bond with and connect with. And that's what that love bomb does to you in that idealization phase of the relationship with the narcissist. And so it's not just a matter of what you think about them, how you think about them. There are things happening on a physiological level to get you trapped in that trauma bond with the narcissist. So that's not your fault. That's beyond your conscious control. And that's critical to understand when you're dealing with feelings of shame and wondering, okay, how did I stay in this relationship with this person for so long? There were things happening outside of your control. So when they switch from the love bomb stage of the relationship and they go into the devaluation stage of the relationship where they're criticizing you, they're, just telling you how wrong you are and blaming you for everything. And they're not meeting your needs. And anytime you try to bring up an issue, they turn it around on you. They use DARVO, which is deny, attack, and reverse the role of victim and offender. Now, when they do this, and especially when they stonewall you, and those of you who've been stonewalled understand the physical pain that you experience. It feels like you're going through withdrawals from a very addictive drug, and that's because it is a drug. The addiction aspect of narcissistic abuse, that dopamine hit is like a drug, and you just want it and you crave it, but you can't have it unless the narcissist is approving of you, and unless they're giving you that attention and affection. But why? When they are giving you that attention and affection and they're giving you their approval, you're in a ventral vagal state. In your nervous system, you feel safe, you feel that connection. But when they withdraw it, then you're going either into a sympathetic state, which is your fight or flight, or a dorsal vagal state, which is your freeze fawn. And to get out of that state and to feel normal again, for your body to feel normal again, you have to get the narcissist to start giving you attention and affection. And so what do? You fight for that attention and affection. You chase after them. You try to get them to forgive you. And even if you know they were in the wrong and you know you had a valid point, at that point, you're willing to just forget about what you wanted, to let go of your needs, to drop your needs, to appease the narcissist, and to just feel connected to them again. And that's how that cycle of abuse and that trauma bond really gets you trapped in that relationship and gets you hooked to that cycle of abuse and chasing the narcissist. They love it when you chase them, when you're constantly seeking their approval and attention. They have you, they're the puppet master, and they have you on the strings doing what it is they want you to do. And so even when you get to a point, where you understand on an intellectual level who this person is, and you start, doing your journal work, you're talking to people, and you might have a coach, you might have a therapist, start sharing things, looking at videos. It's not enough just to understand what's happening on an intellectual level, because as you go through that cycle of abuse, neuroception, especially if you're still in a relationship with this person, over time, neuroception starts to interpret staying in the relationship as dangerous, but it also interprets leaving the relationship as dangerous. And that's where that paralyzing feeling comes in. It's like, if I stay, it's going to be bad. If I leave, it's going to be bad. So I might as well just freeze and fawn. And that's when you go into that dorsal vagal state where you just feel stuck. Now, how do you get out of it? So the way to get out of it is by, doing all of the things that you do on an intellectual level to understand the journaling, the communicating, etc. But also you want to get active, you want to exercise, you want to do somatic routines, you want to do breath work, and what's critical is having a connection with someone who's safe. Having a connection with someone who's safe and talking to them and opening up to them and having this reciprocal kind of relationship that feels safe. Because it's through that type of relationship that you start to retrain your nervous system. You start to train your nervous system and condition your nervous system to stay in the ventral vagal state, to stay in that social state where you feel safe, you feel like you can communicate and connect with another human being. And it's that social connection that helps to repair the nervous system and condition it to stay grounded in the safe state where you feel calm, you feel that sense of well-being. And the more you can train yourself to stay in that state, the more regulated you feel. And that's how you really lay the foundation for getting out of that stuck state and moving on with your life.